So let's go ahead and let's pick a board here. Let's play Downstream. And we're going to play this in Chimps mode, which is the hardest mode. And this board can be tricky at times. What I like to do is deploy, initially at least, 3 dart monkeys. And what I do is set this middle guy here to strongest. That way he'll target the strongest balloon so that no green or blue balloons reach our last line of defense right here. And the key is to get these barriers removed as quickly as possible. Especially this first one. I like to build the first line of defense right here. And usually on almost every Chimps board, the first major unit I deploy is the boomerang. And he's good because he's cheap and he's got some long range ability and does some pretty decent damage. So as soon as I get enough, I'll go ahead and deploy him. And then what I like to do is increase his throwing speed as well as his long range. Now I think it's around 23 or 24 where the first camo balloon appears. And I usually like to get a ninja out pretty quickly and upgrade it so that we can deal with that. Usually when I lose on Chimps, I forget about that. So that's why I usually put him out relatively early. And I almost always give him ninja discipline, which increases his range. I'll also take this bottom one here, this Seeking Shuriken. Now it's important to get your hero out as quickly as possible, so by the end of the game he's upgraded, fully upgraded, or at least close to it. And my favorite hero is Greenfoot. I use him on almost every Chimps board. Pretty much.
The spirits of the ocean awaken.
And it's good to get him deployed early because you're going to have to deal with some lead balloons, I think around level 28. So you want to make sure that you can take those out. I've gotten burned on that before too. I forgot about the lead balloons. You can also upgrade your boomerang to take them out as well, and I usually do. Now on this board I usually like to have 2 or 3 subs back here. And it's always good to, anytime you can use subs, I try to use them, because they have great range and they can do some serious damage against Moabs. And the next significant event is at level 39. I believe that's when the first Moab appears. And that actually can be very challenging. If you can survive that, usually you can go into the later rounds, but it's key to actually be able to take that out. So I try to get this sub upgraded pretty quickly. You can see he's doing some pretty decent damage here. Now, eventually you're going to want to get an alchemist. And then what you want to do is upgrade his potions. And this increases the power of the surrounding units. You kind of want to remember to deploy these vines. I often forget, but it can save you. Later on especially. And let's actually deploy another sub here. Because the first Moab is going to appear in a little bit here. And the spike factory you want to get going around level 40. And I usually like to set that to close. And then you'll stack them up in one position. And usually you want to put this at the very end of the map. It's sort of the last line of defense. And definitely you want to get a monkey village going too. And you want to get the radar scanner. That's very important. Because eventually you're going to have some serious balloon action that have camo. And your ninja can't be expected to take all of them out. Any upgrade you can get with Moabs is very important. So, especially for the boomerang, I like to have this Moab press. But that's really important because it sort of knocks them back. And I also like to get the armor-piercing darts. They're very good against Moabs as well. You can see we're doing pretty good here. Let's get the jungle drums. It's always good to increase attack speed anytime you can. I like to get the faster throwing with the alchemist, so he keeps these guys supplied. I like to get this final upgrade here. And then I'll usually leave the alchemist with this setup right here. Almost every alchemist I'll set up with this exact setup. And by about level 58, I usually like to concentrate on getting the final upgrade in this tier right here. It's past deadly spikes. It's the permanent spikes. Those are very important with chimps because you're going to get some of those dark Moabs, and they are very fast, and you can't really count on stopping them. They're going to get through eventually. So the best line of defense is the spike factory. So we got the deadly spikes, and now what I like to do is pretty much save up for the deadly spikes. I'm sorry, perma spikes. And you want to try to get those before level 78 because I've actually lost on chimps quite a few times on level 78. They throw quite a few balloons at you, and it's good to have the permanent spikes ready to go before that round. So that's why I usually start saving for them around level 58. And one thing that's kind of important, level 63 is another dangerous round. So you want to make sure you have these upgrades, or, I'm sorry, these the vines and the trees ready to go on that round if you have to deploy it. Usually you do. You can see there's that push that comes through on level 63. This can be a problem if you're not prepared for it. If you're prepared for it, you can usually stop it. You can see that can be a problem. See, they're actually almost getting through.
Unleash the Kraken!
And as I said, the next serious round is going to be level 78. And that's why you want to have these perma spikes ready to go at that level. And I usually won't do anything until I get those permanent spikes.
They're getting bigger.
I think level 77 also can be challenging as well. But we're handling these pretty good. I mean, nothing's really gotten through to our second line of defense here. They will, of course, but right now we're taking them out pretty good. The glue gunner is important too, but I usually don't deploy him until after I have the permanent spikes. And usually what I'll do is I'll put him in this spot right here. And he's good because he can wear down the balloons as well as the Moabs. So we're getting close here to that permanent spike. 32,400. And so far, this is working out pretty good. They're not, as I said, they're not even making it past this first area here. They will, of course. On Chimps, I usually like to get 2 major upgrades, the final tier. So now we got the perma spikes. You sort of have some decisions to make. Do I want to wait for, do I want to push for another major upgrade, or do I want to put in some smaller units? I think we're going to go and put in a few smaller units here. Definitely by level 81, though, you want to save up for another major upgrade. And usually for me, it's the Wizard. That's the one I usually use as the second guy of choice. Let's get the Moab glue. As I said, I always like those Moab upgrades because they're really the danger later on. They're the big threat. You can see how those perma spikes just totally stop those guys. Now I think we'll start saving up for the Wizard upgrade. Put that here. You can see 78 dangerous. I need to remember to deploy his special abilities. I always forget those, and that's not a good idea on level 78. Though, when you get these perma spikes, you're pretty much well protected against the ground units. It's the air units that are always the threat later on. You see, they just went right through his special upgrade there. Sorry, special ability. And actually, you know what? We're going to go ahead and get the Relentless Glue as well. I like that. Let's upgrade this submarine there. And now what we'll do is we'll go for the Wizard upgrade, the final one in this tier right here. This Arcane Spike is very, very important in Chimps mode because it does huge damage, especially to the Moabs. So I find this a very important upgrade. And then we're going to get the final tier upgrade in here as well. Oh, you know what? I forgot about one thing, though. I like to give the Spike Factory his own Alchemist. So he's completely concentrated on him, and that will increase the speed of the spikes. And now we'll try to get that Wizard upgraded. You want to try to get the Wizard upgraded before 92, I would say, somewhere around there. That's important. And then what I go for is Monkey Intelligence. This is important for the Dark Moabs. But as you've noticed in the last few rounds, we've had some Bloons get through to our last line of defense, so we're starting to get through a little easier. So let's go ahead and upgrade Arcane Spike. Now what we're shooting for is Archmage. Very important upgrade. It's one of my favorite ones, actually. That's definitely when you're on Chimps mode. And you can see already more damage is being done with that upgrade. You can see less is getting through now. Of course, they're going to overrun us in a few rounds here again, but we've got these perma spikes back here.
Your size matters not.
I always forget to use my hero special abilities. I keep saying that, but I gotta remember to use them more. Because you'll be kicking yourself if that one balloon gets through and you didn't deploy these.
Unleash the Kraken!
And we're, well, let's see here. We're about halfway. Yep, about halfway to Archmage. Cost 34,000. But you'll start racking up some serious points in these last few rounds, so it doesn't take long to get there. You can see they're starting to get past our first line of defense here pretty easily. And the dark
The oceans have
Moabs
no
appear.
equal.
They're very deadly. Especially, I think it's 94, 95. There's just a ton of them that appear. So you gotta have monkey intelligence. This is actually, you know what? I'm a little bit behind, farther behind than I like to be. Usually like to have my wizard fully upgraded here. So we'll see. And we're almost there. These can be nail biters sometimes, very close. If you don't get a particular unit upgraded in time, it can actually make the difference.
Big move. Handle it.
And now he's just cranking. Look at all the damage he's doing. Now, immediately after you get your second major upgrade, it's important at this point to get monkey intelligence. I like to have that so that those dark Moabs are targeted, or at least you have a fighting chance against them. They're not just running into your spike factory. Now, this is an important part of the game. Sometimes I upgrade this guy to give him an enhanced sight so that... Well, I don't know why I just did that. Forget it. I was thinking about something else. And here they all come, 95, all the dark Moabs. Now, at this point, you have a decision to make. You can deploy different other units, but I usually like to come in with Moab assassins. Get as many, at this point you just want to stack as many of these guys as you can. And their special abilities are more important now than even the heroes. Because you want to, especially these larger Moabs at the back, they can be trouble for your spike factory. So you want to try to take them out. So what I usually do is I just stack a bunch of these guys and give them the extra range, and then definitely you want Moab assassin. I like to get 4 or 5 of them if I can. Especially for these ones that have the extra armor. Usually then I put another cannon in here and I give him the full bomb upgrade so that he'll stop any of the ground units. I'll actually upgrade, and we'll get the really big bombs here. And this is one of the hardest levels in the game, 98. This is a very difficult one. So you want to kind of get these upgrades. Let's get this really big bomb. Okay. Don't forget to use your Moab assassin. See, they're just nailing our perma-spikes. But we survived it. Good. Let's actually go for another Moab assassin here. And now we get the very final Moab, this big one.
This could be bad.
And this is where these Moab assassins really help out. They're just pounding away. You'll see here, you know, I mean, he's only, what, 50% down. It's a good thing we got these assassins. Look at all the damage they're doing there. See that? This huge amount of damage. Yeah, and they're not going to be able to penetrate our spikes. And there you go. That's how it's done.